fuck up out of here, man. I don't trust none of these niggas, man.
Never had trust no more.
Time to come on, man.
You know what I'm saying, Carter?
Shiesty motherfucker these days,
Shiesty
man.
bitch.
Niggas be motherfucking changing like the weather, man.
Better tripping on these boys.
I'm on some other shit, bitch. I sing a sunshine song. And if you don't like it, kill your punk ass song. See, I'm a G-ball man. All the time, motherfucker. You wanna see-ball man? Cross the line, motherfucker. See me? I'm a hustler in the still of the night, nigga. On the low, keeping it real with what's right, nigga. Bullshit be out of mind and out of sight, nigga. A full clip loaded with rounds, keep it tight, nigga. I'm what you like. If you a hater, you can sleep with the fishes, the sharks, and the alligators. This that new world order, money man slaughter for a small fee. When they get to talking this shit, look, you can call me, and I'ma tear the head off the government with words. Predicted in proverbs, crumbling bitter herbs on the mission for money. Picture my motive as we mob to this music through the 214. But don't confuse it, I'm riding through the dirty south, thugging with a boot in my mouth. Rowdy cowboy style, quick to shoot out. With me and Cottonmouth and Jizz, no blowing that endo, belling like felons and niggas shit. Ain't no telling. When we heard me, 1 for the money, 3 niggas in the buck. Hollin' about fuck that nigga, do you trust that nigga, is it real? Or do we wanna see you get your cap peeled, nigga, huh? Give me say 1 for the money, 3 niggas in the buck. Hollin' about fuck that nigga, do you trust that nigga, is it real? Or do we wanna see you get your cap peeled, nigga, huh?
I see the world staring at me. Wicked people in high places. The more got a stack of murder cases. A dead niggas took out the game by their partner. The devil riding with you and you swear you never saw him. So how the fuck you figure that you can survive with 17 high ones in your 9-8 bubble? I believe I've seen some of the realest niggas die. Everything from concrete feet to bullet holes in their eye. Now watch a guy that's punk, timid and shy. Step foot in the dirty and rumble with these wise guys. I see the light, so I stay all by my dough. Say clear hating ass fools and Jezebel assholes for show. 3 niggas in a photo. Bleed, grab the wheel, they feel the steel of my fofo. And when you know, I left the whole hood shaking. And on the late night news, a couple lives had been taken. Fucking with niggas that love murder with a passion. I fire up my dozer and keep on matching it goes.
1 for the money, 3 niggas in the buck. Hollin' about fuck that nigga, do you trust that nigga, is it real? Or do we wanna see you get your cap peeled, nigga, huh? Give me say 1 for the money, 3 niggas in the buck. Hollin' about fuck that nigga, do you trust that nigga, is it real? Or do we wanna see you get your cap peeled, nigga, huh?
I say my life has been judged by motherfuckers who don't know me. They talk a good game, but they ain't got shit to show me. Bitch niggas, I always put a G in the cross. They ain't trying to like us young bleed, so pass the weed and we gon' ride and stay on loc. Down south, nigga, always go for broke. We in it to win it, till the motherfucking world blow up. Southside, say it loud when a nigga show up. No time for misdemeanor shit, nigga grow up. Felonies, keep a nigga low key. Try to see the paper chase before it even take place. And end up with the shit out my ass over your face. Before you judge, show some love, player. What you singing? The players are playing because the game is paying enough pain to make the average nigga change. We killing where we hanging at and making money while we slanging that.
1 for the money, 3 niggas in the buck. Hollin' about fuck that nigga, do you trust that nigga, is it real? Or do we wanna see you get your cap peeled, nigga, huh? Give me say 1 for the money, 3 niggas in the buck. Hollin' about fuck that nigga, do you trust that nigga, is it real? Or do we wanna see you get your cap peeled, nigga, huh? Give me say what now?
Hopefully my audio is right. God damn it, we finally here. I know I'm about 40 minutes late, but god damn it, I had to get home. I had to go by the stove. Had to come home, had to wash the dust off my body, had to wash the impurities out of the world off my body. I can't be no dirty ass trying to give you this clean game. You know what I'm saying? So, first of all, welcome back, man. If you don't know who I am, you know I'm a trail pills. Some know me as that, some don't. But whatever you know me as, you right motherfucking here. I'm probably the greatest in the world. The world don't even know yet. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here just to give you an insight. You know, I see this as if I pop my brain open and let y'all see what's going on inside my brain, it'll probably look a tad bit like something I've been giving y'all. So this is the first show of 3 this week. I'm gonna try to give 3 shows a week. Tomorrow's show is more of the kickback show. It's kind of a relaxing show where we kind of look at the strange shits going on off in the world, runaway squirrels and things of that nature. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, man, I really try to get serious with this shit. You know, I love what I do. I see myself as someone who is building something. You know what I'm saying? We've been building for a while now. We'll continue to build. You know what I'm saying? So for today, we're talking about the quiet revolution. It's something that I named it. Last episode, I did a show about pretty much attention, right? It was entertained to death, and I kind of fine-combed through attention, the attention economy, rather. I picked out some pieces of an article from Erica Badu. It was an interview she did with OK Player, where she talked about being entertained to death. We broke down where that theme came from, and so on and so forth. But in the midst of that is a part that I left out. In this part. This part was supposed to be for that show, but because I figure I could try to make this more captivating. I could try to make this hit a little heavier if I kind of fine-tooth comb it a little bit more. You feel what I'm saying? So the quiet revolution. At this time, if you already haven't, man, y'all make sure y'all go subscribe and do all those great things, man. We got an interesting show. We're gonna try to get up out of here. I ain't trying to be here all hours of the night and things of that nature. I want to get in and get out. I want to get in about 1:30, about 2 hours. I want to make sure I'm clear, make sure I'm precise. Towards the end, I'll drop the link. So if anybody wants to, chop it up with me on that end, we'll do that. This is an interactive show. What I mean by that is when you see something like on the bottom right-hand side right here, which is a QR code. If you're watching this on the TV, on a tablet, or on a flip phone, on a Nextel Chirp, on a T-Mobile Sidekick, on a Nokia Brick, it don't matter. You can hit that right there. Bottom right-hand corner is going to take you to my link tree. It's going to give you everything that involves the trail pill. You feel what I'm saying? Everything that involves the trail pill. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the show as it is, man. We're going to try to go ahead and slide up in here. We already 10 minutes deep. Shout out to everybody that's in here. We live on Facebook. We live on YouTube. We live on Twitter right now, or the platform formerly known as Twitter X. We are on live on those 3 platforms right now. So highly appreciate it if you go ahead and do your due diligence and help a nigga out a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? So real quick, man, I wanted to get into this because I think that boredom is something that's a luxury nowadays, right? I remember days where I would be bored as fuck as a child, and that boredom kind of led me to explore things. And I feel like although a lot of us may look at boredom as something that's small, I think if you look at that word alone, and you think about what's going on today, they've turned being bored into $1 billion industry to a certain extent, right? And so I think in today's hyper-connected society, boredom has become a lost art, something that we flee from rather than sit with. Where we once waited and wondered, we now scroll and consume. Capitalism and technology have trained us to believe that boredom is bad, even dangerous, that every idle moment must be filled, that rest is laziness and silence is awkward. But boredom in its truest form is not emptiness. It's a fertile ground for imagination. It's the brain's way of resetting and rebalancing. I'm gonna pull up my other shit right here because I do have a script. I gotta make sure I stay on point, right? So with part one, with the luxury of boredom, right? We really want to get into the hyper-connected, overstimulated society that is right now. So boredom has become a luxury, and in my opinion, rather, it's a sacred space that few can afford. And reclaiming boredom means reclaiming time, reclaiming your imagination, reclaiming your creativity, reclaiming your selfhood. So we're going to kind of touch on the historical context. Um, you know, before smartphones, 24/7 access to information and things of that nature. So, um, like I said before, to be bored today is to kind of sit in stillness without reaching for a screen or seeking validation. I don't think people realize, especially if you grew up, you know, I'm a 90s baby, so we were kind of the last era to kind of grow up being bored or being having the luxury to be bored, right? When we got stuck with nothing to goddamn do, you know, we had to figure it out. They kind of led us on imaginative quest through the hood, you know, trying to find something to do or just creating something, going in that backyard, going outside with the other kids and kind of creating games and just using our imagination, right? And I do think because I have children, I have a teenager, I got a preteen, and I got a little mama as well. So as I watch kids, right, I watch mine and I watch other kids, and like their head is just stuck on their motherfucking phone. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, goddamn, like I could be out and spend all this goddamn money. Now, I know a lot of parents feel like this as well. We go out and spend all this money just for them to not even look at what we doing. You feel what I'm saying? Instead of them watching through the lens of their eyes, they're watching it through the lens of their phone, and they're not getting a chance to enjoy these moments. So, like I said before, to sit in stillness without reaching for a screen or seeking validation these days, in my opinion, is a radical act and a luxury and perhaps a necessity, especially for those in marginalized or working class communities where time off is somewhat of a privilege and it's often tied to economic status, right? The ability to do nothing is not equally distributed, you know, and that alone makes boredom somewhat political. Now, I'm not so much of a political person, right? But because my foundation is mental health, I always I came across these stories like last year about these parents suing these platforms. You remember Mark Zuckerberg, you know, being you know, put in front of the Supreme Court or whoever all them niggas was, shit like that, and also there's a reason why Elon is in Trump's pocket. You know, I don't really get too much into details, but I do feel like it's definitely something there with the people, right? You got the Neuralink, the Starlink, which is going to tie into a story I have tomorrow about the Moruba tribe of Brazil. They recently got Starlink in the internet, and they've been over there choking the chicken religiously. You feel what I'm saying? This was a remote tribe, so now that they got the internet, I think they suing somebody, which I don't know how they're suing because it's a remote tribe. So anyway, we'll get to that shit tomorrow. But it's crazy how just that fast how the internet has an effect and what the human mind goes to, right? Because even the algorithm A part of the algorithm is us. You feel me? So I kind of think in a world that's obsessed with speed and visibility and productivity, there is this quiet revolution brewing. It's not so much, as a trend, it might not go viral, it's not loud. It resists, it pauses, it whispers, and it's not through noise, but it's through stillness, through slowness, through silence. And this is going to kind of reclaim the attention. And I kind of see a shift. In my opinion, that might be a seismic shift. You feel me? Like I said, I grew up in the early, I was born in 1990. Birthday's in a few weeks. Go ahead and hit that cash up. Juneteenth, June 19th, Go ahead and hit that. Pop me a new pair of shoes. But anyway, I kind of see why boredom matters, right? It took me a minute to kind of find tooth calmness, and I had to go and I had to listen through 8 hours of audio books, of kind of pieces of them today at work. And I give you those sources at the very end. But why boredom matters, right? It's so many psychological studies that show that boredom is essential for creativity and problem solving and emotional regulation. I think you do need to give your brain time to figure out what the fuck is going on. You feel what I'm saying? Everything in this world is pretty much talking at you. I did a story about these ads and how everything right now is attention, right? I've gone over this a few times, but the algorithm has no soul. It just sees where we put our attention to, and whether it's good or bad, and it gives us exactly what we asking for. At the same time, it'll put something off in our face, whether we asking for it or not, to kind of see what, kind of where we go with it, in my opinion. You feel me? But a lot of this is a luxury now. You feel me? So many, I don't know. Because I'm a truck driver, I see a lot of behind the scenes shit. I'm able to see people every day, all day. My job includes people getting material from one place to another, but often between me getting that from one place to another, I often observe people, whether they're on the street, whether they're in the car, especially in the car, because I'm always on the road, and I just see everybody's attention, because I have to be focused. I'm driving a motherfucking truck. It's not a fucking joke. Top 5 most deadliest jobs, most dangerous jobs in the world, in the universe, whatever you want to call this shit. Flat or around Earth, truck driving is one of the most dangerous, because you're basically driving a machine. One false move and the car in front of me can turn to a goddamn soda can, get crunched up, and everything in it is gone. So that job is very serious, a very serious job. You feel me? So I constantly watch drivers, right? And shit, I would say 85 to even, I can't, somebody can't see because they got tint, but the ones I can see are distracted. I don't see everything from ladies putting on makeup. I don't see everything from being on the phone. I don't see everything from, somebody was getting some top, what I'm saying, getting topped off in the whip. Like, he definitely ain't focusing. What I'm saying? The top must be mid, because I would have been pulled over by now if it was some of some stature. But anyway, that's not here nor there. But I just see people just being distracted. You feel what I'm saying? Distracted. Their attention is somewhere else other than what they're doing, knowing that something is very dangerous. I often compare this shit to a car crash, right? One thing that I've experienced, one thing that I've observed truck driving for these years, about to be done in 10 years, crazy work, is this, right? It can be a car crash, and traffic can stop if it's a car crash and it's in the middle of a highway or a road or something like that. Majority of the time, by the time you get there, say if you're like a mile and a half away, traffic is jammed up. By the time you get there, you realize that the goddamn crash and everything else to move to the side, and people are just staring. People are just watching. You got people with motherfuckers with their phones out, watching shit, trying to film shit. You feel what I'm saying? Trying to put it on TikTok, trying to put it on IG, trying to put it on Facebook, trying to put it on Twitter. You feel what I'm saying? And I've also seen chain reaction wrecks from that. You feel what I'm saying? Like people trying to do whatever, trying to get their phone out and to film the wreck and be the first. Everybody wants to be the first. Everybody wants to have that. Oh, I'm the first one to do this. Everybody wants to have their fucking phone out when you really should be concentrating on where the fuck you're going. Now you don't have no insurance. Now you gotta pay. You know what I'm saying? Now you gotta get your car towed up. Now you gotta catch that Uber, cross town, and do whatever you gotta do. You know, whatever you gotta do. But you don't fuck your whip up just doing some dumb shit. When you just been minding your motherfucking business, you would have been all right. You feel what I'm saying? So I do believe that boredom is the way that the brain resets and rebalances. It's like a recalibration for your brain. Like when I get off from work, right? Because you know, if you're driving a truck, it don't matter what the fuck you're doing. If you're outside in this world, it's busy. When you're driving a truck, whether you're in the office, whether you're on the street hustling, whatever the fuck you're doing, it's busy as hell. So when I come home, but you know, I have to be able to sit the fuck down and realize like, ooh, that's a whole nother day. You know what I'm saying? I don't even cut my TV on until I'm ready to really watch TV or, you know, get on the Xbox or whatever I'm about to do. You feel what I'm saying? Work on my content and shit like that, right? So I have to have some time to kind of decompress from all this shit that happened today. You know, you might have got some of the best news. You might have got some of the worst news. You might have got something that's very unexpected, but you need time to kind of deal with that instead of just rushing and feeling like you need like noise every time. You know what I'm saying? I used to also be a person that I couldn't go to sleep without the TV on. You feel what I'm saying? For a long time. And I used to think it was nothing wrong with that until I, you know, started going to therapy and shit like that. And you know, that boredom, that aloneness when you go to sleep is for some people it's not really spooky, but it, you know, it leaves you with like you feel a whole lot different when you cut everything off around you, computer off, phone off, TV off, and it's just you and you just up, you just staring at it, you just staring into motherfucking darkness. You're gonna feel something different. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna be, you know, talking to yourself. You're gonna really be thinking. You know what I'm saying? That shit might make an emotion come out of you. You know what I'm saying? You might be trying to hide some shit from everything being on, TV being on. A lot of times I be getting on my kids' head. I be like, God damn, the TV is on. You know what I'm saying? You wasting this good bandwidth. If you feel me, you on your phone, you on a tablet, you on a computer. The TV is on though. So can we cut the TV off? First of all, let's conserve energy. I can tell these kids didn't have Captain Planet. They don't want to conserve no energy no more. You know, we had Captain Planet. We was outside really picking up trash. We was some hell of a kid. We were a hell of an era. This era they don't have a Captain Planet. Reading rainbow, things of that nature. But all those things was based on your imagination. You feel what I'm saying? And even down to the children, because another thought that I have is that just like we were off in the 90s, if you were late 80s, 90s, maybe even before then, you kind of realize that from the time you born, from kind of like to you a teenager, that's where they kind of fuck with you at. That's where they kind of start that mind fucking that. Example, you don't know why the fuck you like McDonald's. We all know that shit kills you. We all know the motherfucking chicken nuggets ain't really chicken. That shit is some type of Majin Buu pink paste. They push out the machine and it turns to a nugget. You know what I'm saying? But for millions of people, every motherfucking day, they still gonna go get that 20 piece and they're gonna be pissed off. They're gonna get that sweet and sour sauce. You feel what I'm saying? They know they had the goddamn E. coli in the goddamn quarter pounders. You feel me? But the rest of the hamburgers was cool. I thought they used the same motherfucking meat. I don't know. But shit like that, like, you know, it's bad for you. It's kind of like it's it's a term for it. I want to say it's cognitive dissonance. I think it's a term for it. Like, it's bad for you, but you still do it anyway. You don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know why you like McDonald's. Like, you don't know why you like, they kind of force certain shit on us. They forced our attention to milk back then. They had all our favorite heroes on the goddamn meat posters with milk. You know what I'm saying? Stone Cold, he got a milk mustache. The Rock got a milk mustache. Ray Lewis had a milk mustache. Mia Hamm had a milk mustache. Andre Agassi had a milk mustache. Who else had a milk mustache? Goddamn, shit. Anybody you can name had a fucking milk mustache back in the day. You feel what I'm saying? They toyed with us. They played with us. This is the generation that we kind of had to learn how to unlearn and then relearn some shit, because a lot of things that they taught us back in those days are just not true. You know what I'm saying? So, with that, right, the question that we must ask ourselves is, what might we rediscover in boredom that constant stimulation has stolen from us? Because I do think they have stolen our attention. They stole that shit. It wasn't like no hijack kick though type shit. The shit was like, we gonna get nice with you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get nice with you. I always say I'm calling it right now. But I remember a time when it went from pages to two ways. Like, it just went from every other month, every 6 months, it just was this. It was, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, this ain't it no more. All of a sudden, you got these phones, like, the shit just sped up. Once the 2000s hit, like, I'm talking about post Y2K era, where everybody was buying all the goddamn Bush's baked beans and green beans out the shelves, bread and shit like that, toilet paper, butt wipes and all that shit. Niggas was going crazy. They thought the world was going in. Thought the world was going to crash. Niggas thought the sky was falling if they stood up and shit like that. And they realized, oh, it's okay. We just going to go some, you got a cabinet full of Boston baked beans. You got to eat those. But that era went fast. I graduated in 2008. So you can only imagine 2000, I was 10 years old. You feel what I'm saying? From 2000 to 2008, a lot of innovation happened. The internet boom happened. YouTube started in my sophomore year of high school in 2006. A lot of those social media platforms started then. And like I went over last week as well about possibly the thought of social media being a mistake, being a fail, like, how you might put something in play, but you might fuck up something, but that fuck up might have, done some right, and then you got some money in your pocket, but you really fucked up because it wasn't what you intended to do. I kind of feel like that was the whole thing with social media. I don't think Mark Zuckerberg intentionally thought when he created Facebook it would go that it would grow beyond just being for colleges. I don't think he thought that. I think he was like, fuck it, well, let's keep going. You know what I'm saying? The money's coming in and all these platforms kind of blossomed up, but they never thought about putting parameters on it. They never thought about, they just all thought, in my opinion, I don't think they all thought. I think some of them actually fucked up in the mind. That's why I say I think a lot of this shit was possibly a failed experiment that went right with the digital age. Even with that, and I'm gonna get to part two in a minute because it kind of rolls off in that. When Prince and Pimp C and gosh, it's somebody else I'm thinking of. But when those certain people were talking about their music and their art form, and the David Banners of the world, T.I.'s of the world, he talked about it too. And certain artists in different genres too, how they talked about and kind of like it was a forewarning of, hey, it's some new shit happening with our attention span. It's some new shit happening with our art. We were out here getting paid off the physical copies, dollars, maybe $10 off a copy, however much real dollars off a copy. And it went from that to getting paid a penny per stream. And still to this day, it's 2025, and nobody could really tell you how much a stream is worth. You feel what I'm saying? They kind of created their own metric system in the midst of all this shit. And it's kind of fucked up. You feel me? But to kind of roll into part two without me trying to go off on a tangent of that. Digital dependency and the illusion of connection. We are living in the most connected era in human history, and yet so many of us feel more isolated than ever. Our phones, those miracle devices that promise intimacy and access, have become portals to performance, comparison, and noise. Every ping demands our attention, every scroll hijacks our focus. The dopamine economy is no accident. Tech companies have engineered our dependency with precision. Infinite scrolls, autoplay videos, and algorithmic feeds. They don't just entertain, they ensnare, right? And we are no longer just users, we are the product. Kind of rolls back to what I was saying about the algorithm, right? A part of the algorithm is you, you know? And as we become more entangled in this digital web, we lose that we kind of lose the access to the quiet parts of ourselves, right? The parts that aren't for sale, the parts that think deeply, feel fully, rest unapologetically, right? How many times have you been forced to watch a video that you wasn't ready to watch? You on Twitter, you scrolling down trying to see who did what, and all of a sudden it's some of the most nasty shit you ever motherfucking seen. You didn't ask to see no nasty shit. It's right there on your timeline. You know what I'm saying? How many times you scrolling down your page and you see another another young black male getting gunned down over and over again? That shit on a continuous loop. I don't see nobody else. I don't see no other race of people get shown dying or fearing for their life, that their last moments of death. You know, we've seen it with Mo3. We've seen it with shit. We've seen it with Rodney King. Watch him get the dog shit beat out of him. But I mean, he didn't die, but it's still very brutal. You feel what I'm saying? That's a very brutal thing to see. And in my opinion, I asked this question about why they keep showing us this shit over and over again. Why do we need to see how this guy died? Why do we need to see how Mo3 died? Why do we need to see how Get Money Lil Ronnie died? Why do we need to see how Dolph died? Why do we get to see a lot of these young men die with these shootings? And why are these videos available? Why are these? Y'all ever ask yourself, like, how are these jail videos available? These jail videos, you can't really just access them. You know, in my opinion, I don't know. Y'all tell me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just noticed certain shit. What's up with it, Rose? I just noticed. I just noticed certain shit, and I always wonder why. I always ask why. I've been asking why since I was a child, and I'm always continue to ask why. I teach my children to ask why, because why is very important. You feel what I'm saying? You can't just let people just show you this shit and just kind of deal, kind of talk to you without asking why. You feel me? And after the why, you get your response on, you'll know what the answer is, whether they give it or not. You feel what I'm saying? I always look for the why in everything. You feel what I'm saying? So I constantly ask myself why, right? And the shit like that is traumatizing. I put it like that without trying to be all cookie cutter and shit. Shit like that is traumatizing. You know what I'm saying? To see another person, another human being dying, of course, on camera, but just seeing somebody that looked like you, like, that shit kind of fucks with you. But majority of the time, you didn't ask for that. You didn't ask to see that. It kind of on your timeline. It's, this is the main news, and all the blogs get to it, and everybody kind of gets to it, but you didn't really ask for that. But nowadays, because true crime has been number one, and the human mind likes true crime. We fuck with true crime. Don't get me wrong. I like true crime. I like to know the ins and outs of certain shit. Just how the detectives work and all that shit to solve a crime. I kind of like the problem solving aspect of, that shit instead of the work, but just the rawness of it, right? Russell Toast said, mind control. Basically, yeah, hell yeah, most definitely. But I always ask myself why they keep showing you this shit on a fucking loop. You know what I'm saying? And I have to sit back and ask myself, like, why the fuck are we so enthused? Or why the fuck do we just like? I'm not gonna lie, it's not really that important to see somebody die. It's not. They make it feel important, but it's not really important. You feel what I'm saying? But through all that, your mental health suffers. They condition you. It's kind of like what I was saying about a few shows ago, 2 weeks ago, about the ideological subversion from Yuri Bismanov was talking about the 4 stages of that, which I can kind of go back to it real quick. Hopefully, I still got those up somewhere. We can kind of go back and forth from this shit. But I want to say when I did this show on ideological subversion, right? Let's go right here, right? A part of this is just focus on that bottom part. Of course, all these are important, right? Demoralization, the undermining of foundational beliefs, moral values, and trust in institutions. Destabilization, the crippling key societal structures such as economy, law enforcement, and social cohesion, crisis, a tipping point, or manufactured chaos. And then the last one is the one I'm talking about right now is normalization, right? Normalization, the new regime or ideology asserts itself as the stabilizing force. They kind of made a lot of this shit kind of normal. They kind of made seeing death normal. Like, don't get me wrong, the internet and the World Wide Web is cool. You know, you can do a lot of shit. You can get, but there's a dark side to it, in my opinion, where at this point now, we are the product. You know, nobody's asking for anybody to be real no more. Nobody's fact checking anything. You know what I'm saying? A lot like we've been conditioned to let a lot of whole shit slide, right? A lot of these morals and standards that we grew up on as children, as young men, especially young men and young women, a lot of those things have been allowed to slide now and been normalized, right? To the point where our children, I shouldn't see don't get me wrong. Back when I was growing up, I was seeing some shit that I probably shouldn't, whatever. But it's just along the way, just because we saw it, don't mean it was right. You feel what I'm saying? And until we take ourselves out of those situations and move around and see other people in other environments, you kind of feel like, damn, like you kind of like, in my opinion, I realized like, damn, that shit, that shit not that cool. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's not that motherfucking cool, And then once you start having children, you really start realizing how foul that shit really is. You understand what I'm saying? So, just the normalization of weird shit, weird ass human being. We watching this Diddy shit. This shit is fucking weird. You know what I'm saying? This shit is weird as fuck. But we normalized, to kind of, I don't know, man. This shit is weird. I couldn't quite put a finger on it, but they the illusion of connection, right? When we all feel like we connected, but we not, all this shit kind of divides us even more than before we had this shit. You feel what I'm saying? Now everybody gives their opinion. Now everybody's shit is so important. Now everybody, you know what I'm saying? The worst thing that could happen to the internet is these bozo ass niggas getting a fucking chance to have a following. You feel what I'm saying? We got some of the most, and I'm gonna speak for my culture. And although we got some of the dopest leaders who ever touched this earth, you feel what I'm saying? But I love hip hop. I love the culture of hip hop, and I couldn't tell you back in the '90s that we'll go from having the sources and having the double XLs and having the ozones and having people who were really journalists and really care. Like, have y'all like go back and read some articles when they were really giving music reviews about these albums and really, they listened, sat in these circles, sat in them oval tables and listened and wrote down notes and really put their mind to it versus nigga like a DJ Academics. Now somebody like that is at the forefront of our culture, having an opinion with millions of people, getting millions of dollars over for nothing, and he has no value to our culture. You feel what I'm saying? He holds no value to our culture. He's not even a fucking DJ. But that's how bad it's gotten, where we've allowed people to get a hold of our culture that aren't even really in our culture. We've allowed a lot of cosplaying ass niggas in our culture. We've allowed them and they to use these cosplaying ass niggas in our culture to control it, to actually have an opinion. When back in like 96, 97, if you said some wild shit, nigga, shit, you gonna get the shit slapped out of you. If you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a standard. You feel what I'm saying? It was a standard. It was creativity at its highest peak in those albums. Like, if y'all ever went down, like, I'll tell you, some of my favorite albums was MJG, No More Glory. That album is one of my favorite albums because just from the start of it, like the content, the rapping ability, the messages, 8 Ball Lost, all the UGK albums, like Scarface albums, like those guys were at peak creativity, in my opinion. Back then, in that era, they went out their way to be original. You know what I'm saying? Everybody went out their way to be original in whatever genre they was in, whether it was fashion, whether it was whatever. Nowadays, it's one big group thing. You feel what I'm saying? One big group thing, and if you don't think like that group, they're gonna call you a hater. Oh, you hating because you ain't with the rest of us. That's how bad it's gotten. Just because you God gave you a brain. God finally crafted all of us where we don't even have our same fingerprint. It don't matter how many people on this earth, we will never have the same fingerprint. That's throw. That's some throw shit. He gave you not only your own fingerprint, but he gave you your own mind to think with as well. But instead of using your own mind to think, you have to do what some other niggas say because this shit cool and you don't want to be looked at as an outcast. Where everybody's not made to follow. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't born up here to be a follower. And every time I tried to, Jesus thumped in my motherfucking head. Bloop. That's how I did. Back of my head. You shouldn't be following. You're not made to be no follower. Like, you made to be a leader. I need you over here. You know what I'm saying? Every time I tried to improvise some shit away from God's script, he kind of, found this way to kind of put me back within the margin. That's how it's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? So I've been blessed, and a few of us are blessed to still have our right minds within this shit. You feel what I'm saying? Where we can kind of go in and out these rooms with different types of people, but still remain ourselves. We're not subverted to this shit. But at the same time, it's not that digital connection is inherently bad, right? It's the fact that we've stopped choosing it. It chooses us, right? So the quiet revolution challenges this very dynamic. We'll go ahead and move on to part 3, right? So to unplug, right? The need to unplug. To unplug is more than logging off. It's a declaration, right? You're choosing presence. I choose to be unavailable to the machine that feeds on my attention. I choose depth over speed, substance over noise. But unplugging is hard, and it requires unlearning the belief that we must always be on, that we'll fall behind if we don't keep up, that our worth is tied to our visibility. And it's not just about screen time, in my opinion, right? It's about, I don't mean to sound all metaphysical with the shit. You feel what I'm saying? But it's all about soul time. You feel what I'm saying? How much time you giving to yourself versus you giving to these devices? You have to ask yourself that, being able to create space. Excuse me. They got parched. Anyway, you gotta give yourself, you have to create space for stillness, making room for silence. Reading a book instead of checking Twitter. It's journaling instead of texting. It's taking a nice little walk without a podcast. Just listen to, the soundtrack of life that God has already provided. You feel what I'm saying? Birds, shit like that. Squirrels and shit like that. Go outside and listen to the squirrels talk. I don't know about y'all, but I said this last time. Every once in a while, it's a few birds that be around my patio, and they be talking up a storm. They be chopping it up. And I be sitting here wondering. I just be like, God damn, I don't know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're talking about me. I feel like one day they was. I came outside and it got quiet. I put some I put some shit outside. And they got quiet. They ain't moved. They was over there. It was like three of them. They ain't moved because I ain't just abruptly do it. And then as soon as I closed my door and sat back down, I feel like that bald headed ass nigga. Look at that. Come on, ski ball head ass. Come on, milk dud head ass. Come on, goddamn. I feel like they got the roast in me. It was too many chirps. You feel what I'm saying? Way too many chirps. But just give some time to listen to nature. Listen to nature a little bit and kind of see what's going on out there. Just unplug a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they got us on a 24/7 hour loop of our attention. Don't nothing end no more. I can remember when TV used to end, nigga. It used to be goddamn. If you tried to stay up and watch BET Uncut, was at 12. It came after Flavor TV. Watch Flavor TV at midnight. You know what I'm saying? Then come on after all the Flavor TV shit. It was Pastor Ricky Rush. What in the hell do you want? Heaven has all that you need, head ass nigga. You feel what I'm saying? After that shit went off, you kind of try to, let me stay up for, you had no business trying to watch BET Uncut. You know what I'm saying? Trying to watch what the thing smell like and things of that nature. And for a minute, nigga, certain channels used to cut the fuck off. It was boo. It was it. That was all you got. Boo. Nowadays, none of this shit cut off. You know what I'm saying? To the point where TV used to cut off. Now they just run infomercials and ads. So ads have become king. It's the reason why they pay millions of dollars to, for a Super Bowl 30-minute slot. It's not because of the slot. It's because the amount of eyes, the amount of attention that makes that valuable. And then goes directly into what I was saying last about the attention economy, the digital dependency, and things like that, right? But it's unplugging is also the bridge between digital life and real life. It's kind of where we find ourselves again beneath the algorithms, beyond the noise. God has made it to where, in my opinion, I had no choice but to be silent. I remember praying for peace of mind. I didn't know it'd happen like this. You understand what I'm saying? So it was at a point in my life where, damn, I really never gave myself a chance just to be quiet and be alone. Everything I had to deal with was always like this. And I had to find something to deal with it, whether it was sports, whether it was music, whether it was writing, whether it was reading. I just had to find something. I gotta find something. I have to find my attention span. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? And even now, I found myself having to slow myself down sometimes and kind of schedule myself time to where it's like, okay, we need to just chill. Just chill. You don't need to get on nothing, cut everything off, just sit here, chill, maybe take you a nap, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? Go write a little bit, go do whatever, but just take time out for yourself to kind of decompress what the fuck you just went through. Every critical and every kind of traumatizing event that I went through, I never kind of gave myself a chance to be quiet. I kind of always put some, you know what I'm saying, in front of it to kind of get that shit off. You feel what I'm saying? And shit like that. So I also have to understand that my brother Sean, he created this thing called the 48-hour rule. And it's something that we live by. It's something that he reminds me of a whole lot. And I'm thankful to have him here. It's a blessing to have him here. You feel what I'm saying? To that's one of the few shit, the only one that ain't never left my side through anything that I've been through. He's always been there to, you know what I'm saying? And we've always been there for each other, but you know, he's always been there, you know. And the 48-hour rule is this, and I'm gonna share this with y'all, is whatever goes on, we giving that shit 48 hours and we moving the fuck on. Treat that shit like a goddamn case. 48 hours, we move the fuck on. You know, whatever happens in that 48 hours, get mad, cry, do whatever. After that 48 hours, it's no more of that bullshit. You gotta find a goddamn solution to it. You feel what I'm saying? Or leave it the fuck alone. But you gotta get past this shit. At some point, you have to sit down and really control yourself, control your emotions, and be like, okay, this is what happened. How am I gonna solve it? The only way you can get to the point of trying to solve it is you really just telling yourself to shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Calming yourself down. Like one of my favorite, you know, kids movies that I like watching with my kids is Inside Out. Inside Out is a very dope movie. It's probably very underrated, but just the fact that how they attacked, how they not attacked, but how they curated mental health, right? But just imagine it like that, like a part of you that's panicking. You know, it's always one motherfucker that's panicking. Oh my God, I can't do this shit. I got the bills on top of the bills. Anyone, this I got the debt. And they garnishing my shit. They doing our shit. There's one part I gotta say, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. So we can think and create a solution. So we can get about this shit. So we can deal with this shit. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't the end all be all. We're just going through something right now, but we never just keep going through it all the time. Just going through it for right now, but we gotta handle it. You know what I'm saying? You'll never get there if you don't experience getting a chance to unplug. You know, you have to literally unplug from this shit to kind of get there to that point. You feel what I'm saying? What's up, Clem? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Inside Out is the shit. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit. But I just like how they did that. You know, especially for the children, because I think it's very important for them too. Because you know, my first child, my oldest child, was born in 2009, so she was born up in the era of tablets and phones and shit like that. Now that she's a teenager, you know, I kind of see children at that age and they all got their motherfucking neck. You know what I'm saying? All they neck boy, by the time they get 30, boy, all they neck gonna be crooked up. You know what I'm saying? Cricket up. You feel me? Because they on their phone and nobody's getting a chance to in our way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you try to pull their phone away from them, tell them put their phone down, all of a sudden it's an attitude. You know, nigga like me, I have to control myself. I throw that shit to the pickleball court. You know, I'll be bullshit. I would throw that shit to the pickleball court. You feel what I'm saying? If I had to, like, to be honest, if I didn't have to create content, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't be on my phone as much. I wouldn't be on these devices as much, but I'm still trying to take an approach to where I schedule this shit out to where I can do my content, work on my content, and not be on here as much. You feel what I'm saying? But that is a privilege. Like Kendrick Lamar, right? He goes months without his phone, allegedly. That's what they say. but he has the privilege of going outside of his phone. Everybody around him somebody around him gotta have a goddamn phone, know what the fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? But he has the privilege to do that. So I kind of think trying to take something from that, right? And trying to, okay, well, I can still create my content, you know, but I don't have to be so plugged into this shit. I think that's even how I got here to the Trill Pill, to kind of creating this this multiverse of whatever the fuck I'm trying to build, right? Is in my opinion, is art, is content, is music, is a bunch of shit involved in one. You feel what I'm saying? That I barely even scratched the surface on. You feel me? It's a whole lot of shit that I probably won't even get to on YouTube, because YouTube be on some bullshit. Now, I don't really fuck with YouTube, but for the sake of us having to use these platforms, it is what it is. Certain things I like to do on different platforms with different people who are the same mindset. You feel what I'm saying? I used to be frustrated and mad when I used to just podcast at first before I started making other digital content. And then I started to kind of learn what YouTube is, and I kind of got frustrated when I would, work hard as fuck, put this content out, and people wouldn't fuck with it. I didn't understand it, but it took me a moment to kind of step back from to understand that these people want to be entertained all the time. They get their feed, whatever's going on in their fucking life, they have to keep that bullshit going all of the time, because if they don't, life is going to smack them in the fucking face. They never give themselves the time allowed to sit and just be, right? That's a part of the quiet revolution, the return of being. You feel me? A part of me, even getting back to the point where I can kind of reshape and remold what I have into what you're seeing right now, is I had to just be. I had to go in places and just be. I had to go in the store, leave my phone off in the car. I had to go in the museum, leave my phone off in the car. You feel what I'm saying? Constantly going through, like, it's like a withdrawal damn near of when you go into a spot, you don't have your phone, you checking it's part of the reason why I haven't bought a smartwatch. You feel what I'm saying? Everything they give you is an extension of your phone. Nigga be in the museum checking pockets. Oh shit, I'm thinking I'm freaking out. You're not freaking out, nigga. It's like damn you going through a withdrawal. Because you used to having your phone in your pocket. You used to having a little buzz, or, you know what I'm saying, having a little bell on your phone, shit like that. But now, for a moment, you deal with that. But after a while, you get a chance to just be. And going through the museum and just being brought me back to me as a kid, when my pops worked at the Dallas Museum of Art, and me just being able to go, anywhere I could off in the museum and with the other museum kids. I was a museum kid. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm just exploring the museum. I wasn't worried about my phone. We all up in the back of the museum looking at shit that we probably should have never been looking at. Shit that probably new exhibits they never seen, this ancient artifacts, just all type of dope shit. You feel what I'm saying? Really living down there in the museum, seeing this shit, it brought me back to that moment. You know what I'm saying? Of just being a little kid from South Dallas, but being introduced to a whole world beyond of my own imagination. My big brother going to the University of Michigan, me being able to give a chance to have a chance to explore new people in a new world, and what the fuck is this shit, and just having all that kind of, it sparked something that was in me that never left, that still resides in me today. You feel what I'm saying? But a lot of those times I didn't have a distraction to distract me. I was able to just be. You understand what I'm saying? I was able to just be in that moment. So going through the museum and just watching, and just observing the shit, I'm peeping shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I got my museum stand, so you don't know, you gotta have a museum pose. You have to look dignified down there, like I was, in there with my motherfucking hands, head ass nigga. You feel what I'm saying? Look at it out your right eye. You might squint a little bit. Look at, you know what I'm saying? You just kind of observing this shit, but you kind of feel back in your mood. You know what I'm saying? Then that's going to start a conversation with somebody. I'm like, oh, well, do you like that? Yeah. Well, who's your, how do you think that? You know what I'm saying? It starts a conversation, and before you know it, you're being a being. You're being a being again. You don't have no phone. Like I was in there. It's crazy how it attracts certain shit. Like I can't explain it. It's some medical physical. I mean, not medical physical, but it's some metaphysical shit that's kind of beyond my bandwidth of knowledge at this moment. But we learning it, right? I know some, I don't know all. We're still learning. Every day we fucking learning. But just that point of being in that moment, just be like, damn, somebody else been like, yeah, that shit cold. You know what I'm saying? How you feel about, yeah, I mean, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Just having a conversation with humans, just being. Everybody being. Nobody having their phones out. It's just a bunch of human beings just being. Off in the moment. I observing art. I think that is dope. You know what I'm saying? That's dope to me. But shit like that's dope to me. I have to learn that's not dope to everybody else. So because I'm able to kind of put that in my content a little bit, I'm not gonna sit on here and yell and scream. And even when I was trying to fit in, trying to figure out what the fuck this shit is, I still felt like a shell of myself. Like, nigga, this ain't even us. What the fuck is going on right now? You know what I'm saying? We kind of feel like we're getting away from the true essence of what we fucking came on here for. And that's when I kind of had to take a whole step back. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that had the access to me, if it wasn't about no money or nothing productive, they had to go. Everything had to make sense. In the midst of going through my own shit, and the reason why I was there, because I was trying to get my mind out what the fuck I was going through. I was going through a lot of shit, way more than whatever I explained on here. I was going through a lot of shit mentally, fucked off, and then having to deal with some new shit I ain't never dealt with before. So my attention at that point was vulnerable. Now I'm searching for shit that are kind of, you know what I'm saying? So that's where people are at right now. They kind of, life is kind of fucked up. Life is very cruel to everybody. Life is not fair, but it's not fair to all of us. And that makes it kind of fair in a sixth sense. That's kind of how it goes. You know what I'm saying? So in the midst of everybody trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, a lot of this shit is not made to say, hey, you're okay. A lot of this shit is made, hey, we don't know what's going on with you, but hey, we need your eyes here, nigga. We need this shit to go. It's a nigga on here setting himself on fire. He gonna jump through a goddamn hoop. We need your eyes here. This bitch just slapped the other bitch aside the head. We need your shit here. This shit, we gonna show you a lot of shit, but it means nothing. So we're finding creative ways to waste your time. And one thing that I've learned, probably because of me losing friends, me losing my mother in 2012, me losing my grandmother during that time as well, me losing friends and shit like that, is realizing how important time is. Me watching my children grow. Time, attention, that's very important. So my biggest squabble is with time. Every episode, I revert back to my pops because I talk to him, we have, great conversations. He's 81 years old. He's been on the earth from down there 4,000 weeks. That's a lot of God. That's a 4,000 weeks of life is a lot. It's a lot. In a few months, I'm about to be 35 years old. I'm like, nigga, you don't live 35 years of life. You start thinking about, God damn, I really don't have no time to to really fuck around like that. I don't have no time to be wasting. So whatever we got in our pocket, off in our mind, it has to go. It has to get up out of here. It has to find ways to become tangible. You sitting with these ideas like you have this time, like a lot of us be sitting with shit as like we got the luxury of time when we fucking don't. I could die tomorrow. And if we die tomorrow, ask yourself, what the fuck would you leave behind? You feel what I'm saying? That's why I'm alone by myself a whole lot. You feel what I'm saying? Kind of life kind of made it that way. You know, my friends are scattered amongst the country, you know, but I feel like there's a reason why God placed me here beyond what I thought while I was here. It's a reason why I'm right here. Nigga, I need you to focus on what I need you to do. That's it. For right now, I know you want to do this. I understand shit hurt. All right, cool. But my nigga, that's how God talk to me. That's how I talk to God. Like, God want the realest nigga ever. So it's like, that's how, like my nigga, I need you. You need this right here. You ain't never had a period off in your life where it was just you. You was always taking care of something or caring for something. Nigga, I need you to be you so you can get back to the core, your true essence of why you here. So being able to unplug from all this shit is very important to me. You feel what I'm saying? And to these platforms, like I said before, in those red letters, that our worth is tied to our visibility. That's why shit like watch time matters, not the content of your content. Fuck your content. How long can you keep these niggas here? Right here. You feel what I'm saying? I've watched and we watch a lot of content creators get lost in, I'm trying to keep these niggas here. I'm trying to keep the numbers up. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll show a titty. I'll show a testicle. I'll show a toe. I'll show a hoe. I talk down on my own people for the sake of, nigga, I'm trying to get these little breadcrumbs. Nigga, they giving us breadcrumbs so they can run these ass cross our shit. We keep people right here to keep. The same way they do with the music industry. Now, I don't know how it goes on in other cultures because I'm not other culture. I'm black. You know what I'm saying? So I just see what I see in our culture and how that shit is carnivorous. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the right word for it. It sounded fly though. You feel what I'm saying? But this shit, you know, is cannibalistic. It eats its own. Think about it. You know, for all my old heads out there, you know, you think them guns and them drugs popped up in neighborhoods? Who funds that? They was trying to fund the war. Who doing, you know, hey, come on. Who fast forward, right? People who show you some of the most heinous shit you ever seen with your own people. Every time, every single era, they use something to condition us, to keep us right there. You feel me? They used to hang us in trees and we used to be the entertainment. We've never stopped being the entertainment. Remember, they used to put on their Sunday's best, get starched up, starched down. You understand me? Starched down, you know, button shirt all the way up. Maybe 2 buttons down for the ones who had a little flavor. Put their Sunday's best on to watch somebody that look like me and you get strong the fuck up and struggle for our life. And cut our dick off. They was eating watercress sandwiches and shit while a nigga dick is off. Nigga, they eat, you know, cheese puffs and shit. I don't know if they had cheaper back then, but I'm just saying so we never stopped being the enjoyment. The only reason they stopped putting us up on trees is because shit, it's illegal. It's illegal now, you know what I'm saying? So now we're going, you know, they kind of learn how to, it's kind of like a fish tank, it's weird, you know? It's weird. So nowadays, they just gonna, yeah, okay, well, I'll tell you what, since we can't do that, how about there's this young kid that's in the neighborhood and he doesn't like these kids from this neighborhood. Can he rap? No, it's kind of mid, but he can stay on the beat. So his views, he's getting 1 million views. So he's keeping people there in the seats, keeping people listening to his song about he's dissing the people in the neighborhood. Let's give him $1 million. Let's go fund the hood war. Now, you know what I'm saying? Because eventually we're gonna have to get him in the RICO anyway. Eventually we're gonna let him keep ganging until it ain't cool to gang no more. Until they say, you know what, we done made enough money off this nigga. You come and get him now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a play for our attention. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why our attention. And I ain't no better than the next person, nigga. Shit, cut on certain music, nigga. It's whatever. But that it's like it activates a carnal part of your body or some shit. I don't know how to, come on, But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? If I had to sit here and explain to you frequencies, that'd be another 12 hours. Maybe, not 12 hours, but probably an hour or two. We ain't right there. We got to finish this up. So anyway, we'll do that on a different time, but the need to unplug, I kind of went off on a tangent, but let's wrap it back up. Taking control back, right? So the quiet revolution it isn't loud, of course, but it's powerful. It's not about rejecting technology, but redefining our relationship with it. It's about taking control of what we give our time, energy, and soul to. We don't need to delete everything or move off grid to participate. We can kind of start small, morning rituals without screens, weekly digital Sabbaths, sacred do nothing hours. Honest conversations about what we're really feeling, communities that value presence over performance, right? First thing, all of us, we get up in the morning, what the fuck we do? Check the phone. Goddamn, something happened. You know what I'm saying? It might have been on a Friday night. You might have been waiting for, little mama to send you, titty or something. You just fell asleep. Oh shit, let me check my phone. Let me our alarms. Our whole life is in this motherfucking phone. How the fuck they do that all the time? Our whole life is in this fucking phone, dog. So, hold on real quick. Get to All-time pause music. All-time pause music right there. Hope that triggered that response. All my gamers know what that is. God damn it. All right. Keep that in the background, actually. Our whole life was in our motherfucking phones, man. You know, so in my opinion, actually, let's cut that. Let's cut that shit off for the time being. Goddamn it, that shit feel like we're gonna have to slide on some Russian agents or something. But look, where was I? Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, phone dropping. All I was in our goddamn phone. Yeah, did that shit too many times. But it's trying to find a community that values presence over performance is hard. It's difficult, right? I know that firsthand. We're trying to create this content, you know, trying to see what the audiences want, trying to find the audiences that better suit my content. It ain't the fact that I know my content is a lot better than a lot of these niggas' content. A lot of these niggas are not really content creators. They don't create anything, but you know, I don't know what they fuck with. I don't know what they do. But that's a whole new genre of off the wildness. But they don't actually, you know, I respect the art form of content creation. I you know, I admire people like and listen to people like a Combat Jack, may he rest in peace. I remember trying to find out what a podcast was, and damn, this shit kind of cold. You know what I'm saying? You mean I can have my own like voice and you know create my own, you know what I'm saying, like shit like that. So I respect that aspect of it and trying to find an audience that suits my content is very difficult. That's probably the hardest thing of being a content creator, especially if you're creating something with more of a purpose. That's kind of like it's purpose based. It has more substance. I mean, you can kind of do some dumb shit and get popping. You know, that's what everybody else is doing. You feel what I'm saying? But if you create something that means a little bit more, you know, because attention spans are what they are for shit like this. Some may say attention spans are short. I would say it's only short to shit that goes against the grain of what society shows you, right? They shortened our attention spans with clips. They clip everything from, in my opinion, it started with Vine. Vine and everything. Vine was like 10 seconds. So it kind of conditioned us to kind of condense everything. You know, when everything is not made to be condensed. You feel what I'm saying? It's certain things that are made to be, you know, condensed. And there's certain things that are kind of made to breathe a little bit. That, you know, like it's certain things that you don't have to listen to and watch. It's certain things that you really have to listen to and watch. It's the main reason why a lot of these songs have went from 3 verses, 2 verses to 1 verse. A nigga saying the hook for half the song, they going to the verse, and before you know what the verse is over with, this next song. The song be 1 minute and 47 seconds long. Be like, God damn, nigga, what the rest of the song get? So it's the whole reason of that, right? It's everybody trying to finesse the attention. You know? So a lot of this shit is about intentionality, right? It's about choosing what matters and not letting go of what doesn't, right? It's about understanding that being busy is not the same as being fulfilled, that being connected is not the same as being whole. You know, this world's never gonna stop. This shit that's going on right now is never gonna stop. This world is the shit cooked already. You feel me? So the algorithms will keep buzzing. You know, they gonna keep pumping. You understand me? So the most important work that we can do as human beings, which is the most you know, in my opinion, the most radical rebellion that we can rage is to be still. It's to be bored, but to be fully present. It's not us trying trying to put boredom in something that's bad. Like boredom, like nigga, just go write something. Go. What happened to doodling? Don't nobody doodle no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody have any have any creativity. Like, it just cut everything off around you that's digital and just think and see what your kind of see where your brain goes. You know what I'm saying? I know for some of y'all probably gonna act like y'all just, but for most of us, we're gonna start to do something that's very productive. You're gonna think more, you're gonna do more, you're gonna, the ideas that was suppressed by scrolling on Instagram for hours, shit like that. Like the strangest shit, right? And I'm gonna move on because we closing in on where I kind of want to end it off at. The strangest thing is to sit and watch nothing for hours. One day I was on YouTube and my attention span kind of goes, I don't know. Like I said, I had to literally slow myself down. Like I can't sit and watch the same shit for too long, especially if nothing is going on. I have to do something. I got a pad over here. I write in. I got a book I'm kind of read back and forth and, shit like that. I even got notes in my phone, books on my phone, notes, just shit that I do. You know what I'm saying? I paint. I might break the paint, out. I might, rearrange my ceramics. I might try to find, I might call my plug on the ceramics and see what's going on over there. Can I, what's going on? Can I get a deal on something? Can you front me something? You know what I'm saying? Front me something on the ceramic end. You feel me? Face card good at the ceramic store. Trust me, they love me there. But shit like that where I kind of have to make myself be without my phone, and it's important for me to do that because for a long time I kind of was going through a creative block for a moment where I didn't create any content like this. I just was getting up in the morning, and those videos were still on both my YouTubes. I was getting up in the morning and going off the dribble. You feel what I'm saying? Off the dribble with whatever message that God put in my mind. I was kind of spitting that out on the way from my place to work, or sometimes while I was at work. I was kind of going off the dribble, and it kind of forced me to get back creative. It kind of made me think like, okay, maybe I don't need to search for this shit. The answer's already here. I just got to think. You know what I'm saying? I be in the truck at work. I cut all that shit off. CB radio, all that shit off. All my lunch break, I wouldn't eat shit. I was fasting as well, especially during Ramadan. And I would just think, just be, just, look at the birds, or I just think, I think about, certain things that my mother was trying to get through my head, think about certain conversations I had with some of my friends and some of my family, and think about how could I make, what I'm saying? How could I change my life? You feel what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not where I want to be in life, how can I change it? Only I have the power to change it. You feel what I'm saying? So, kind of losing hope in my content, thinking like, damn, I don't know if this shit gonna never go, whatever. I don't know. I kind of been, I was kind of letting a lot of the bullshit get to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm my worst critic. You feel what I'm saying? So, and I'm an overthinker, so I, be overdoing some shit, but just in my head too much, and I just had to figure it out, But I had to be bored for me to kind of repackage my work and kind of present it more and kind of redefine what this means, kind of update what this means, kind of take my shit up to the next level of what this means. And once I started to do that, it's like, damn, well, shit coming left and right. I didn't have to think so hard no more. The shit was just there. You know what I'm saying? my perspective just changed. I started to see shit differently. The same shit I was driving by, the same shit I was looking at, I just started to see shit differently. My perspective became broader, I guess. You feel what I'm saying? When I just kind of isolated myself and kind of, you know, shit like that, which I'll get to on Thursday, which is the part 2 to one of my videos I did a while back. How ducked off, part 2. It's Thursday. Make sure you tune in. But I started to really get involved in the power of isolation, in the power of silence, in the power of just being. You feel what I'm saying? That's why part of this is the return of being. Like a lot of us need to just return to just being. Like not trying to be somebody, not trying to be something that we're not, but just being. Like let's go somewhere and just be. You ain't gotta talk to nobody. Just find you a little corner, find you a little, little sit at the park and just be. Just chill. Just relax. You feel what I'm saying? Just absorb the environment and kind of see what, you know what I'm saying, how God start working with you. You know what I'm saying? The shit get different once you start getting closer and closer to that, to the core of your divinity. If I said that right? It's a true essence of yourself you have to get back into. That's what I learned. That's why I started back doing the shit that made me me. You know, for a long time, I got away from what made me me, and I wasn't really living. I was surviving. Like I wasn't living. I was surviving for a long time, but I wasn't living. I wasn't doing the things that made me me. I wasn't being creative. I just feel, you know what I'm saying? Certain things in my life, I feel like I couldn't do that. But now God has allowed that to happen again. And now I feel like I'm back flourishing. I'm back better than I ever was. You know, it's a reinvention, it's a rebirth, it's the phoenix after ashes. You understand what I'm saying? Shit like that, you know. The future won't be built by the loudest voices, but by those brave enough to really say, I choose to live deliberately. It's a choice, you know. It is a choice. Let's see where I want to go with this. I think I'm gonna take that and move that around. Yeah. But there is a silence that isn't empty. It's full. It's full of answers. It's full of healing. It's full of memory and spirit. It's not the absence of sound, but the presence of self. In that silence, you remember what the world tried to make you forget. That you are not a machine. You're not a brand. You are not content. You are a soul. I wrote something down. I had a throwed ass quote because now when I sit in silence, I be thinking about what's a cold ass quote I can kind of. And so I've been doing this thing lately, and I'll show y'all off in a minute what I've been doing lately. So I think it's a dope piece of content. I ain't never seen nobody do this shit before in their goddamn life. You understand me? But you are a soul, you know, in a world addicted to the loud opinions, loud performances, loud distractions, right? Silence becomes sacred. And when you embrace it, when you sit in it long enough to hear your own breath, when you hear your own heartbeat, your own, I can't see that shit because my goddamn speech bubble is over there. So let's get that shit about the goddamn way. I think I got it over here too as well. So let me go out. Where is that shit at? Goddamn. Where is that shit at? It's down here. No, let me just move this shit out the way. Come on now. Come on, now, Trip here. Goddamn. Your own truth. All right. So when you sit in it long enough to hear your own breath, your own heartbeat, your own truth, that silence becomes loud, definite, revolutionary. You understand what I'm saying? All that shit, you know, in my opinion, is just very important, man. I'd be lying to you if I said like I follow my own thought all the time. You know, I'm human. Sometimes, you know, as humans, you know, we get lost. You feel what I'm saying? That's why you gotta tap into something that's bigger than you. I always say, man, this shit is way bigger than me. It's way bigger than you. It's way bigger than us. This shit is just different. You know, this quiet revolution, it don't really ask for permission. It doesn't really need a headline. It doesn't really even need a hashtag, you know, but it starts in those key subtle moments when you pause instead of reacting. You know, you don't be so repulsive, you know, you log off instead of scrolling because you ain't doing nothing. You just gonna see the same ass on your explore page, big asses, you know, on your you're not gonna, you ain't doing shit. For you know, you don't spend 35 minutes just freaked out. You know, sit still instead of rushing. You know, trying to hold your composure in times of, you know how it goes. Like it's a minute and 47 left on the clock. You gotta hold your composure. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta drive the field. You gotta score. You gotta put everybody in position to score. You gotta think. You can't do that if you're just panicking. You feel me? So it's not about abandoning the world, but it's about returning back, you know, kind of returning to the world with more clarity, with more intention, with more presence. And in a society that profits from your distraction, you know, don't get it twisted. I tell you all the time, especially being a Black person. Black trauma and Black drama has always been the source of the world's entertainment. We've always been the focal point of the world's entertainment. Shit don't pop out until you put a nigga in there. Like, can you go find a video of what basketball was like before a nigga started slam dunking at me through the air, glide through the air at me. Go watch the world before they found out, you know, who was, yeah. It was bland. It was boring. So we've always been the source of entertainment for the world, you know. That's how it always been, in my opinion. That's how it's always going to be, unfortunately. But this world profits from that. This world profits from our pain a lot. Our pain is $1 billion business, right? So in a society that profits from our distractions, the attention is the superpower. Like that basically makes the attention more important than anything else right now, is the attention. If you get more viewers, more watch hours, you get more money. They can slide them ads in your shit. If you get more, you know what I'm saying? If you get more eyes on the prize, we can slide ads over here. Now you become valuable. Like you don't become valuable. Goddamn, I'm fucking parched. Shit. You don't become valuable by the content of your content. You become valuable for how many eyes you have over there. I don't know what the fuck you doing. As long as you ain't doing no wild shit. That's too wild. You know, because they'll let you do some wild shit, because that wild shit, it gets the shit going. You feel what I'm saying? Stillness, you know, is a protest. Boredom is a gift. And presence, well, presence is how we take our power back. You know, that noise will always be there, begging for our time, our outrage, our exhaustion, but you don't have to answer, you know, because revolution doesn't begin out there. It begins with you. Eyes off the screen, feet on the ground, breath in your chest, quiet, steady, unapologetically free. You have to dig me, you know. That's what I really think is really important, in my opinion. Loud silence, you know. Loud silence. I did write a little Did I get my poem bag in these notes? I got my poem bag earlier. So I'm gonna read you this little, little poem. Put your little shit on it. But anyway, the one that says I am enough without the applause, the one that whispers peace is a practice, not a performance. The one that hums there is divinity and stillness. It is the sound of waking up or breaking free or remembering that your time, your energy, your presence are holy. This shit is not for granted. We're not guaranteed this shit. So anything that's not guaranteed, you must keep this shit close to you like it means the world, because it really motherfucking does. This is not a retreat from the world. This is a return to yourself. This is a return to yourself. That's what it is, in my opinion. You're already whole. You're already worthy. And that silence, that craves you is loud enough to change everything, in my opinion. Sometimes we just gotta sit with ourselves to make some shit happen. We just gotta unplug and, do all that fly shit niggas be saying in Instagram quotes that half the niggas don't really follow, but you really gotta do some of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It takes time to actually, I had to get to the core of myself. It hurt. It kind of hurt when you have to look in that mirror and you don't recognize yourself. It kind of hurt when you have to, you know what I'm saying? But you kind of have to go through that. You gotta have a silence. You gotta go through that time where you ain't gonna have no choice but to cry. You ain't gonna have no choice but to see yourself where you don't want to be. You don't have no choice but to try to understand yourself. Like, you sitting here trying to understand everybody else, you don't even understand yourself. For a long time, I went through a phase of you sitting here trying to give advice to everybody else about their shit and their mental health, nigga, and you fucked up. Fucked up, nigga. You trying to you giving everybody else this shit, but you fucked up. It's not a bad thing, but it's a real thing. Like, my nigga, you using this shit as a way to make yourself feel better, but you're not feeling better. So that's why you trying to chase these numbers and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with this shit and you forcing the issue, nigga. You forcing the issue. This shit ain't us no more. It ain't genuine no more, nigga. You done lost yourself in this shit. You done got involved with these people that you wouldn't even be involved with if it wasn't for this fucking internet. More than half these niggas, we would not even. I'm talking to my niggas who got their mind all right. The rest of these niggas, they probably, we're not worried about. But if all my niggas got their mind all right, a lot of these people, you wouldn't even associate yourself with if this shit didn't exist. For some motherfucking reason, some of the worst human beings is on the internet. For some reason, some of the worst niggas have access to internet and a phone and a camera and a microphone. And the worst thing is some of these niggas have a following of people. Some of these niggas are the most diabolical niggas you ever seen in your fucking life. Some of these niggas need to be locked the fuck up. Straight jackets, jail cells, whatever it is. Some of these niggas need, to be gone. Waste of flesh, walking bag of bones. You know what I'm saying? They have no purpose in life, but I guess them having no purpose in life is what makes them put out the most captivating entertainment. And by all means, goddamn it, sometimes that shit be cracking. Sometimes it do be cracking. I'll be the first to tell you, hey, ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of bullshit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You gotta balance it out. We're losing balance. We at one point we had balance of we gotta get serious about the business. You know what I'm talking about? We got a little time to fuck off a little bit, but everything had time to, we had time to get to it and time to relax, and then all of a sudden the scales started being tipped. And the more important thing began, I just want to feel good. It's like that dolphin shit. Like, that's how I compare it to being a dolphin. Like, all them dolphins want to do is feel good. But when you try to feel good all the time, it leads you to chase a dragon. Pause. That first time you got the dopamine release, now you feeling good, now you want to chase that feeling, but you never gonna get that feeling again. Every time you take that shit, it just goes down the drain. It's the same shit with this internet shit. These viral, like you seen these kids, they done probably got a little dance and go viral on them, and they trying to do every dance in the book to try to go. They crying and breaking down in front of that's fucked up when your worth is tied to your social media presence. It's cold. It's a cold world out here. Just watch some of these young YouTubers, these young streamers, just watch them. They stream their whole lives every fucking day. And now they stuck in that loop. Because that's their main source of revenue. Well, if your main source of revenue is your whole life, with a camera in front of your face, you're not gonna react how you're supposed to react. I sat there and watched DDG when he got a restraining order put on him by old girl. He couldn't react how he wanted to react. When he be sitting off in that seat talking and shit, I be looking at nigga eyes, man. And that nigga eyes, he can't sit. It's like he numbed himself. Like a lot of these streamers, just look at these streamers' eyes when they be streaming. Look them in their eyes. Take a good look, man. Cut the audio off. Look them in their motherfucking eyes. That'll tell you everything you need to know about this internet, how cold this game is. Once you get the inattention, and that's your main, that shit is a gift and a curse. So you gotta have something. You gotta have your sense of self intact. You gotta be able to unplug. These niggas having 24/7 streams. Now they feel they say why they sleeping, farting and shit, scratching their nuts and shit. But this shit get weird out here. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is anymore. I don't know what this is anymore. You feel what I'm saying? I don't exactly know what this game is anymore. I just know that I'm in it to win it, but I'm in it to win it on my own accord. Right? A lot of these niggas gonna do whatever to get famous. They're gonna do whatever to get these numbers. You know what I'm saying? And if you do whatever to get these numbers, you'll suck a dick for a piece of rock or a cheeseburger or something like that because you a fiend if you do whatever it takes to get a number. If you let numbers define you, and don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. I know some P brand out there was saying, but you need the number, you need the yeah. But more important than the numbers, you need the right people. You need the right people. One thing that I've learned with this content shit is you need the right people. From platform to platform to platform, I just observe shit. This shit is oversaturated with bullshit. So if you a nigga like me and you got content with the purpose and you trying to knife your way through all this shit, nigga, you want to be Afro Samurai, nigga. You gonna have to hold a number one headband, and my nigga, you gonna have to squabble with all these niggas because shit. Hey, some of these niggas got a pimp and panda for they motherfucking. They gotta pander it out. They gotta mix in the pandering. You know, I don't know. I don't get involved in what's going on outside of what I do. I stay focused and I do this. I try to put my focus in on my talents. I'm gonna try my best to try to put this shit in terms to where not only where that how I understand it, right? This is how I understand this shit. So when I do this shit, and I write this shit down and I edit it, and I have to, you know what I'm saying? I go to work and I find out the sources, you know, what's my sources. Okay, Here are my sources. Let me go find the audio books at work. So now a nigga is at work all day listening to Cal Newport, man. Digital minimalism. Jenny Odell, How to Do Nothing, Resisting the Attention Economy. Just listening to all this shit, reading all this shit, like really trying to get it down. Like really trying to, you know what I'm saying, trying to get this shit off of my brain so I can just have a base of not only can I present this shit to y'all, but I can also have a keen understanding of it. Because if I don't understand it first, and then I'll be phony as hell trying to put this out and put this content out here because that's weak to me. You know what I'm saying? So when I do create this content, it comes from a place of it comes from a real place, a very genuine place. You feel what I'm saying? And because of that, I also know that a lot of these niggas can't do what I do. You feel what I'm saying? It's tough. It's hard. It's difficult to kind of stick in there and hang with it. I've been having niggas, one day I'll be petty one day and we'll really break down a video of a nigga just dry hating on me. You know what I'm saying? Worrying about me, you know, and what I got going on and how is he still here? Why, you know what I'm saying? I don't like just niggas just dry hating. And we'll get to that shit soon. I might wait till closer to my birthday to get petty with it. You know, I might get a little petty to you know, I might have to, yeah, you know what I mean? You know, we're not gonna go too dark, but we have to put this as an example. We have to put these niggas up as an example. You know, not in a malicious way, but in an educational way, for educational purposes only. You feel what I'm saying? We're gonna teach with this hating ass niggas, because a lot of hating ass niggas out here who really trying to figure out why he don't have to do this to still be here. Why, like, you know, because nigga, my value is worth more than this number. You know, and like I said, don't get it wrong. I would love to have thousands in the chat, thing like that, and at this time, but maybe it ain't my time. But it's instead of me thinking about it like, man, am I doing enough? It's moving my shit around. It's the concept of a water bottle being in different places. I mean, y'all probably seen that analogy a lot. You know, at the Dollar Tree is $125. At the airport is $5. At this, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same product but moving around. So I've kind of experienced different reactions to my content on different platforms, and I finally kind of been seeing the fruits of what I've been creating. I don't feel as empty anymore. Just trying to keep my shit on YouTube and trying to keep my shit within this community. And we got these niggas messaging me in my inbox saying, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. And these niggas that ain't creative at all. You know, until I say, you should get the fuck out of my inbox. You should get the fuck out of my phone. You should get the fuck out of my, you know what I'm saying? Like, leave me alone. You don't know what it takes to do this shit because I see what niggas do with daytime and how they use daytime. And we've all been guilty of that, but we getting older, my nigga. At a certain point, this shit gotta end. At a certain point, you know, now, come on, man. That's all I'm saying, nigga. Shit. I don't give a fuck no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I ever gave a fuck. I just have to get out of my own headspace. I'm my own worst critic. You know, could nobody ever tell me to stop or tell me to do something different. It was always me. Me. You know what I'm saying? Pointing the finger at myself, nigga. You not, come on, my nigga. You know, until I have to kind of shut that one voice off and kind of get the other voice. I had to turn that one voice down and turn that other voice up. Like, nah, nigga, we in the right pocket, nigga. We got to get back in that pocket. We need to get back where that confidence is back up. You know what I'm saying? You don't let these niggas, you know, kind of turn your volume down a little bit because you too consumed with numbers. You getting caught up with a metric that doesn't measure how powerful your content is. You gonna fuck up a message that needs to be heard by somebody because you worried about having people in your chat. You gonna fuck up something because you don't have the attention all the time. you're gonna fuck that up because you being selfish. You worried about somebody else's shit, but if you know you got the better shit, then just do your shit. It ain't always gonna be whatever. You just shop your shit around. Get more diverse. Do more of your shit. You a creative ass nigga. That's the use your advantage of yourself. You trying to, nigga, you down here trying to hit the paint. You down here off in the paint when you know you can shoot 30 footers. The fuck you over here in the paint for? You bring them niggas out to the water. You know what I'm saying? You know you got a greater skill set than the average human being. That's the way that God built you. God, he built us all with certain qualities that we all have to get activated. And until I understood that, I kind of got lost in the sauce, which I think is also just a point of just living life. You know, because when you lose a lot, you kind of feel like you're not valuable enough when you lose a lot. Nigga, I lost my mama. I feel like I wouldn't worth shit. Lost my granny. I feel like I wouldn't love shit. The family, the black family structure I tried so hard to build, snapped like that. So in a span between 2012 to 2020, everything crumbled. You understand what I'm saying? From 2012, even before that, when my brother Daryl passed when I was 8 years old, and my mother said I just got quiet. Or something that my brother would notice about me with certain things, something my dad would notice, like certain things. And there's certain things but that time right there, I was able to notice it. From 2012 to 2020 was an odd space for me. My life was really disturbed by loss and grief and pain. I didn't understand what the fuck I was going through. I was trying to find some shit that maybe trying to reinvent myself, trying to, you know what I'm saying? I didn't, all my friends out there having fun and shit. I'm out here trying to raise a family. I'm trying to do this shit like that. I'm out here trying to do some shit that'll fuck with you. A lot of these niggas won't admit to that because these niggas think everything is about themselves. Them niggas are selfish. That's why they ain't never gonna have that in their fucking life. You understand what I'm saying? From the time I seen my mother passing away, from that time till now, until 2020 when COVID hit, those 8 years, a lot happened. I never gave myself time to decompress from that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So my attention was vulnerable. My attention was up for sale. And I think if that happened with me, and then this is my thinking, right? This is how I process this shit, and I'm gonna close this shit on now. If that happened with me, I know I'm not the only one whose life has been disturbed by loss and grief and things like that. Everybody's life has been disturbed by that shit at some point. So at some point, if we don't have the right tools in our toolbox, our attention is going to be able to be up for grabs. I'm a wrestling fan. So think about your attention being the titles held up high in a ladder match. Once you start being in places where you're not able to focus right and your attention can be able to be, anywhere and everywhere, your thoughts will become maybe, what's the word for it? Convoluted. Be confused. In states of confusion, you don't know what you're doing. You're just doing. You don't know what you like. You just in a whole state of just surviving. I gotta survive. I gotta maintain. Fuck that. Some point you gotta live, my nigga, because you deserve it. We all have to give ourselves the okay. it's okay to live. It's okay to treat yourself. It's okay, especially as a man, because it's difficult, trying to protect, trying to provide. We're taught to hold in so much, but when we explode, we explode. I'm a quiet person. I was never, even as a kid, and my friends can tell you, my family can tell you, I was never a confrontational guy. You feel what I'm saying? If confrontation came my way, I'll handle it. But as far as me being confrontational, even still to this day, I'm not looking for it. I'm not looking for no problem. We just gonna deal with them as they come. You feel what I'm saying? But even then, just, man, trying to deal with that shit and trying to figure out how to process my emotions and, how to process this shit and growing up and now, all that shit, dog. All that shit. In the meantime, while you trying to get your life right, we gonna find the most beautiful, baddest bitches on your social media page and get your attention. Hopefully we can grab your attention and keep you here. We're gonna find some of the odd, strangest, heinous crimes and music. We're gonna bring your attention here. Come over here. So shit. My nigga. It's okay. You can come over here and listen about how you gonna kill something. It's okay. Oh, you want them hoes, huh? So yeah, your image, you trying to go get a chain. You trying to fake it till you make it. I see. You don't want to be the broke nigga, so you just gonna go out here and put your life on the line for some corn, huh? That little piece of pussy got you so ready, got you so hot, bothered, huh? So you just gonna die for it. If you can't have them, can't nobody have them. You gonna kill her and everybody else. Your attention is in the wrong spot, my nigga. It can't be there. It can't get to that point where you just willing to crash out. They've made crashing out become cool. They made being a hoe being cool. I remember when being a hoe, like a scarlet letter. If you caught too many bodies consecutively, bitch, you got to get power washed. Maybe you gotta ring out. You gotta thaw out a little bit. Now it's culture for that. And they guys are under being sexually free. Now these little girls want to, come on, bro. I see it. Look at our little boys. What they doing to our little boys, my nigga. They making these niggas, come on, bro. Come on, bro. I ain't here for none of that shit. Trail Pills and anti-cap platform. If you want that bullshit, you gotta go somewhere else with it, man. We keep that real shit over here at all times. This shit ain't made for the weak. As much of the time I have a good time doing it, it's a daunting task, but somebody gotta do it. But just look outside. Just look at society with just the eye. Just look. Just look. Look at how they shape our culture. Look how we treat each other. And while we treating each other, while we are distracted with what who we hate and all this, we don't even realize that we ain't even the fucking enemy. We're not even we're not even the enemy, dog. So that's it, man. That's the crux of what I have, the quiet revolution, the power, the return of to being, the power of I think, like I said before, boredom. They turned boredom into something bad when boredom was the foundation of our creativity. It helped us think, it helped us figure out things, it helped us problem solve. We lack problem solvers. We just got a bunch of problem makers. We don't have a lot of problem solvers. I see myself to be a problem solver, I'll be a fool to be out here just creating problems, like one of the greatest people in our lifetime, James Prince. He always say if you keep campaigning, eventually you'll get elected. Life is gonna find you if you put the energy out here, good or bad, it's gonna find you. But if you out here with that, I'm gonna take over, the world. I'm gonna whoop everybody. Okay, well, you're gonna find that, and you're gonna walk a long life. Or you having to look behind your back and be paranoid. Trust me, we don't sit down here and watch on YouTube, watch niggas do whatever for the goddamn fame. Do whatever for the goddamn notoriety. Get the opportunity and drop the ball because they thought so convoluted on themselves that they can't process, they can't focus. You feel what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing with this shit. We gotta focus. We gotta get to these pinpoints and get to it. We gotta get to it and get the fuck on to the next one. Be willing to not only listen to the information, download this shit and retain it, but to carry it on to somebody else and share it as well. That's what this is about. That's why I'm always say I don't need everybody over here because this ain't no everybody platform. Everybody ain't gonna rock with this because you gotta think over here. Even from the beginning, you gotta think over here. Oh, this nigga trail pill shit. You gotta go. Yeah, you gotta think, nigga. Just a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong with thinking. You know how many niggas in jail wish that they would have thought out something before they did some shit? You know how many niggas in jail that wish they would have took time to pause, took time to unplug before they made a reaction to some shit that cost them years? A 5-minute reaction, a 2-minute reaction, a 30-second reaction cost them down near a lifetime. They might have murdered somebody, shot somebody, killed, whatever it is. They took that time. Like I said, time is the main currency. When you fuck up in life, they take time from you and money. But most of all, time. They lock you in that cell. They do it. You got to go deal with that. Time. Time is so important, and I'm gonna get deeper into time. Right? I gotta put some more thought into it because I'm really in the middle of a few things, but time is something that's so important that we have to really, really get into. Time. But for right now, this time is over. Quiet revolution. These right here are just a few sources right here in case y'all, for all my niggas out there that like to read, like to look up shit. You feel me? Cal Newport, Digital, Minimalism, Choosing the Focused Life in the Noisy World. Foundational text on how intentionally scale back digital engagement and reclaim focus and meaning. Key concept, the attention economy is still in your life. Jenny Odell, How to Do Nothing, Resisting the Attention Economy, a beautifully written philosophical and cultural meditation on attention, nature, labor, and resistance. Odell frames doing nothing as an act of rebellion and sacred presence. Trisha Hersey, Rest is Resistance, a manifesto from the founder of the NAP Ministry. The work centers rest in silence as forms of resistance, especially for Black and marginalized bodies. Key quote, rest is a form of resistance because it disrupts and pushes back against capitalism and white supremacy. We're going to get more off into this shit. We just scraped the surface. You feel what I'm saying? We just scraped the surface. We ain't even got to the middle of the pot yet. You feel what I'm saying? We ain't even got to the middle of the pot. We ain't really got to the potent shit. This is not stepped on. This is pure. This is Peruvian flake type content. Shit that make you go like a Ronaldo right in the mirror when he woo, yeah, shit like that. This is what that is. You feel what I'm saying? So, but for right now, I will come back with a part 2 of this soon, maybe the next few weeks. But Ducked Off part 2 is Thursday, right? Ducked Off part 2 is Thursday. Matter of fact, let me bring up the slate real motherfucking quickly. Let me bring this up. We're gonna go with a screen share. I don't even have the screen up. Good. Yeah, so hopefully, man, y'all stay tuned. Hopefully y'all share this, man. Hopefully y'all really, y'all fuck with me, man. It takes a whole lot to put this content out. Nigga gotta go work, nigga gotta come back home, nigga gotta, do a whole lot. But I appreciate everybody that stopped through. You feel me? Because that means a whole lot to me personally. Because somebody who puts a lot into his craft, it's satisfying to watch people enjoy your content. It don't matter how many of them is it. It's just satisfying. Like, oh, okay, and that kind of leads to motivation to create more and more and more and more and more and do more. You feel me? That's what that is. Here the screen share is right here. Goddamn me. Hold on real quick. Let me show y'all. Let me see. So right here. Europe. Okay, let's pull it up real quick. Yeah. So this is on Trill Pill Digital. As you can see, you know what I'm saying? We got 126 subs right now. Woo, woo. Now we need, we need y'all to come on over. We need y'all to come on and share. We need y'all to come on and spread the word, spread the love, spread the care. You know what I'm saying? Go tell your auntie. Go tell your fine auntie that it's a handsome, bald-headed black man talking that good ghetto gospel. You feel what I'm saying? Go tell your fine ass auntie that make them pancakes with the crispy edges. You feel me? Go tell your uncle that be in the back, he barbecuing always. Go tell man, it's a real nigga on here talking that good shit. Talking that good shit. You know what I'm saying? Go tell your uncle. Go tell your granny. Go tell your granny that all these young niggas ain't just out here doing this bullshit. It's somebody out here really getting this good ghetto gospel out for the streets, man. I do this shit for the hustlers and the scholars, because those are the ones that are the most creative. People who find, people who have the unique talents and crafts. You feel what I'm saying? The creative minds. This is what this shit is for. This is how we get down. This is how we, because I want to get people involved off in this shit. I want to get more of a panel with this shit. I want to, hit these circles. I want to I want to take a lot of this shit off YouTube and go hit them Twitter spaces with some shit. This is where I just want to go do with it, but I need you. All right? I need you to share my shit out. You feel what I'm saying? Share my shit out. Like you share your little cousin album that ain't going nowhere. That nigga can't rap worth the shit. But you share his album out. Go listen to my little cousin. This little whoopty wham. Little whoopty wham ain't talking about a whole ass thing. But goddamn, you gonna share. You gonna share. You feel me? But that's right there as well. Let me hide that real quick. Let's stop the screen share. But yeah. So that's just a little bit of flavor that we got right there. So I hope y'all show up. And this is Trill Pill Digital. Right? Trill Pill Digital. Matter of fact, let me put this link in the chat. Somebody said, you didn't put the link in the chat. I got the link everywhere. That's what I was trying to tell nigga. Like, I got the link everywhere. It's on my Instagram page at the top. Like, nobody follows instructions no more. Everybody wanted to put it right there. Well, I didn't put it right there, man. You feel me? I done put it right there for everybody. You did. You understand me? There goes the link in the chat. Trill Pill Digital. Let me see. I am going to drop the link in the chat in case anybody want to slide up here, have a little words of wisdom, add something to the wisdom or something like that. We're gonna go for about a couple more minutes more. If not, I'm gonna continue on with my night. You feel what I'm saying? This has been a hell of a show. This has been a great show, in my opinion. Tomorrow, what I have on the slate for tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is the show where it kind of get wacky. Now, in the middle of these weeks, in between all this game, right? I have to have a show that satisfies the other part of my Gemini side, which is the wild, adventurous part. So that is actually the Trill World Order, the podcast, the actual podcast, where I kind of go around the world and and gather strange news, jump through different portals and hoops and things like that to bring you strange news. Last couple of weeks, we've been having marsupial news. We having runaway pet kangaroos in Alabama. We had a guy who died. He got pieced up by a kangaroo. He died in South Carolina. We got another piece of marsupial news. We got more plantations on fire. We got people who've been found guilty of selling kneecaps, elbows, and toes. You understand me? We got the Marubo tribe that's freaked out right now, thanks to Elon Musk Starlink. We got maybe declassified gateway papers. Ooh, conspiracy night. I don't know. Might have to create another. I don't know. AI tools taking the place of teachers. Marvel versus DC comic book series coming out. You feel what I'm saying? And shit like that. Shit like that is gonna be on the Wednesday show. So y'all show up for that, man. Hopefully y'all have fun. You know, I want to have fun while we're here. Towards the end, I'm gonna go ahead and run these ads real quick. Shout out to everybody, man. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, yeah, pretty much shit. If you in the universe, we'll get to you. We are mobile, man. One furniture restoration. Let me get this shot at the bottom of the screen though. One furniture restoration, man. If you got a chair that ain't fair, if you got a table that ain't stable, don't throw it out. Give us a shout, man. Holler at my brother Bruce G953@gmail.com. One furniture restoration. I also have a QR code at the top left-hand corner. If you can dig that, if you watch this on TV, you can put your phone up to the QR code. It's going to take you right to the promised land where you're supposed to be. You understand me? Now, also with that, this is still within the last days of Mental Health Awareness Month. In the last few days of it, you know, it's been a hell of a month. So make sure you carry the energy throughout the rest of the year until next year, you know. Not just for the month, but for the rest of your life, because it's imperative that we do that, you know. 2025 Mental Health Awareness Month, turn awareness into action is the thing. Make sure you do that, you know, not for me, but for you. You understand? Now, also, Substack, man. Substack, if you like them old school style blog, you know, if you like little shit like that, then you'll like what I got cooking. You understand me? I tell people all the time, man, just put your nose in the air one time so you can smell what I'm cooking, man. The prescription is dope to me. You know, sometimes I really get a different side of the content that I'm posting over behind the scenes. I might post my notes from over there. I might summarize what I've given you in 2 hours into a nice little article, a nice little think piece for you to read. Niggas' brains is really working. You understand? We putting out this content and we not stopping. It's gonna come out all the time. You feel me? Every time we got to switch on the content. You know what I'm talking about? We letting it happen. So the prescription Substack, there's also a QR code top right hand corner for that as well. It's gonna lead you right to the promised land. You dig? Like I said before, you can catch me on all these platforms right here. You feel me? Instagram, X, YouTube, Facebook, Substack, Spotify, Twitch. Catch me at all those. You feel me? Let me see if I have anything else. I think I'm done over here. I think I'm about to go make me a turkey sandwich. Make me some, you know, it's time to eat. You know, you feel me? I might go and make me one of them Scooby-Doo type sandwiches. You feel me? We don't talk up appetite, but it's been a pleasure for me to be here with you and do what I do. And I appreciate you being here. You know, you will never get this anywhere else in the world. This is only right here on the Trill Pill. Trill Pill Digital at that. That link is in the chat. I'm thinking it's in both chats. Let me see. It's in both of them. So hit that link on the chat. Don't hit the, matter of fact, Don't hit this one because the bottom gonna end, but the one that's pinned, hit that one. It's gonna take you to my page, Trill Pill Digital. Let's get this out, man. Blow me up. Blow me up, man. I want to make it big, man. You feel me? And I want to bring y'all with me. You feel me? You feel me? We trying to make it out there. This one, yeah. It's Trill Pill, man. Monumental to be monumental. Stay trill and healing. Most of all, stay mentally trill. Long live everybody that we lost, man. Long live everybody that we lost. I'm out of here. I'm gone. We're going to leave out with us real jazzy tune. You understand? We're going to live with a real jazzy tune. We're going to leave out with that goddamn, fuck it. We're going to leave out with, lately I've been listening to the Rally Boys lately, so goddamn it, rally up, nigga. Shout out to Cottonmouth, shout out to Jizz No, shout out to Dallas, Texas, shout out to you, shout out to everybody else. We got the goddamn Rally Boys, Rally World featuring Roger Trout, man. And I'm out of here. Monumental. I'm gone. I'm the greatest nigga you ever known in your fucking life without the world even knowing it. You the greatest too. I appreciate you. I'm out of here. Trill Pill, I'm gone.
She caught the alligator sliding across the marble floor. Heard about the 7 bedrooms with a Roy Park folk. Now what she know about my word of lifestyle of a rally? Summer trip to Cancun, shopping sprees up in Cali. Before they tally up my bill at the bar, that's when she finally realized she's in the presence of a star. Don't take it too far, let the games begin. I got them twins on my Benz and a gang of ends. Call up your friends, I'm calling up my crew. We sipping Don P, Chris, and a Malibu. You know how we do when we shine and bow. Catching flights to Las Vegas, heading straight to the mall. Sporting BS1s with the Princess cut. Platinum rolling iced out with the pave guts. I dump them freaks and sluts and small-minded girls, cause only real ladies living in my rally world. I get everything I need, baby, with no tricking. No for game flip, I play a pro is what you're picking. I get chose in fresh clothes, candle lights with your body smelling like a rose. Sticking to the G code, so I keep a stash. Mac only superstars, I can get with Trash King, my queen. Treat you like Nefertiti, if you need me, just beat me. In your heart, just keep me. Told your mama who I was and had feelings for me. I can tell that you're down the way you give it to me. Sexy suits and high heels, perfume, negligees, fresh nails, baby, with your lady like waves.